Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I want to say good morning to everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Just so you know, we got about 10 more days to the All Black National Convention. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. The All Black National Convention is a big, big deal. And it is something that in which we basically are doing all we can to help Black folks to wake up. We got folks that need to wake up. We are sounding the alarm. We are telling people that it's time to pay attention to what's happening in your community and to go ahead and start building and improving your condition, because nobody's going to do it for you. We are believers in the Black Core of Three. The Black Core of Three is that we believe Black people should educate our own children, create our own jobs, and support Black businesses. So if you believe that, if you believe Black people should be educating Black children, if you believe that Black people should be creating our own jobs and not waiting for other people to do it, if you believe that we should support Black businesses and buy Black as much as possible, then the All Black National Convention is for you. So feel free to go check it out. It's allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. If you can't make it and you want to check out the live stream, if we may not have a live stream, but we'll definitely put the recordings up right when it's done. Go to allblackeducation.com. That's allblackeducation.com. And also you can talk to one of our specialists in the Black Business School about your personal wealth plan as you prepare for the future. Now, see, Nelt 18 is from Atlanta. Shout out your city. If you haven't shouted out your city, let me know what city you're coming in from, so we can kind of know where you guys are in the country and in the world. All right, so here's the deal. All right, so there's this guy named Ed Buck. Ed Buck is this. He is, for lack of a better term, he is a I guess a Democratic Party donor or something. He's big money Ed, and Ed is known throughout the LGBT community. He wears like rainbow ties and stuff like that, and he's typical, like, gentrifier, right? You look on his Facebook page, he's got pictures of his boyfriend's his dog. I'm sure he goes to Whole Foods and Starbucks and all the other things that they do when they come into our communities and want to take everything over. Well, Ed Buck is an interesting dude because Ed also happens to be a big drug user, and he also happens to have this really strange affinity for Black men. He really likes Black men, and I mean, you can't blame him entirely, because Black men, we are the greatest, most attractive human beings on the planet. So it is what it is, right? It's gonna happen, right? Everybody wants a Black man, right? But just for the record, I've always felt that I was made for Black women only, and so when I proposed to Alicia, just know that if Alicia had been Becky, that proposal wouldn't have happened. That a proposal would not have occurred. So anyway, here's the deal. So Ed Buck, was a guy who was really, really, really scrutinized, because check this out. Ed Buck had 2 Black men die at his house of drug overdoses within a very short period of time. I think it's just a few months apart. And it's crazy because they did not lock him up. They didn't do anything. They're like, oh, dead Black man here. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here. No big deal. Well, it is a big deal. Dead Black men, that's a big deal. Black Lives Matter, right? Shout it out in the chat. Black Lives Matter. And we should be the ones, screaming that out, not waiting for white people to say it. And so these brothers were going to his house, and they were just turning up dead. And apparently Ed had this weird thing where he would inject them with crystal meth or something. And I'm just telling y'all straight up, just so a side note, I think he lived out in Hollywood. I think that's where Ed lives at. And I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of weird shit that happens out there. I've been to LA, and I've just seen, Black people get into stuff that ain't part of our culture, that's not a part of who we are. I just saw a story the other day. I'm not kidding. And I'll tell you, I'll go into more detail about it. But there was a brother who graduated from Yale, and was making investment banker money and all that. He went out to Hollywood. Next thing you know, he's making porn, like adult movies. He's addicted to drugs. I think meth was his thing. Now, years later, he's homeless. At 52 years old, he looks like he's about 80. And he's still smart, but he's a homeless drug addict on Skid Row, living in a tent city with his boyfriend, or with his husband, I guess whichever one it is. Like literally, this is a Black man, and his family don't get it. His family's like, he came from a good family. Like, we raised our kids right. Like, we trained our kids to go to top schools. And this brother literally goes to Yale, and now he's homeless on, and I'm just telling you, like, there's something out west that where there's just culture, especially in drug related stuff, but just getting into like weird stuff like that, that causes like a lot of crazy behavior amongst black men. A lot of black men go to Hollywood and just lose it, you know. And so be careful about sending your kids out to LA. Stop trying to hope that your kids get famous. I know somebody who had a son who was singing real well in church, and he's from the South, and he got discovered by some record label exec who thought he could make some money from him. So he brought him out west and sent at 15 sent him on tour with a famous group. It was back in the 80s, and his mother was all excited, like, "Oh, my baby gonna be famous!" Ah! Well, check this out. That on that tour, that was actually when he first got introduced to cocaine. And do you know that to this day, he's 50 years old, he is still a cocaine addict to this day. And these are not me, it's not me making things up. These are real life stories. So I don't know. Give me a yes or no if you get what I'm saying. Do you understand how weird Hollywood is? Like, do you get this? So anyway, so Ed Buck, let me just read some of the story to you, and I will tell you. I'll give you more of my take as I read it. Hit the thumbs up button, by the way. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, I want to say hi to everybody on Instagram at the Real Boyce Watkins. We're having good conversations over there, so feel free to chime in on the discussion. There's a lot of posts I put up, especially that one about Barack Obama interviewing with Julianne Malveaux, and it is so funny. Go check that video out. It's actually on the Real Boyce Watkins by Instagram. Julianne came on yesterday, and Julianne, Dr. Malveaux, was speaking, casually about her book about Obama. I think it's Are We Better Off? I think it's Race, Obama, Race and Politics, or something like that. I think it's a subtitle. Anyway, she says that she was interviewing Barack and having a conversation, and the conversation was going really well, and they talked 30-40 minutes. It was great. And then she asked him about reparations. And the minute she asked him about reparations, he literally was livid. He got up and said, "Turn the camera off. This interview's over." Blah, blah, blah. Like literally freaked out. So anyway, if you want to see her tell that story, feel free. If you go to financialjuneteenth.tv.com, that's where the video is, where you can actually see Dr. Malveaux telling the story. And the strange thing about it, and I'm just wondering if this is some COINTELPRO stuff, like what's going on? Check this out. When she told the story, I swear to God, I'm not making this up. Right as she was like digging into the story, all of a sudden, like the video froze. Like all of a sudden, the YouTube stream like shut down. Like she froze up and she was gone. Like it booted her off the channel. And I know it's conspiracy theory, right? I don't put nothing past the government, but and it's probably nothing. But it was really weird and awkward how timely like it was that it got shut down. Like go watch the video. You can see what I'm talking about. The entire interview, we put it up on the Black Financial Channel. We have a couple of different platforms. So if you go to theblackfinancialchannel.com, that's where the full interview is with Dr. Malveaux, theblackfinancialchannel.com, where we do daily financial commentary and news from smart people. We're all into intelligence, right? Everybody else, if you want ignorance, there's plenty of ignorance everywhere. They feed you ignorance every day in the radio and in your music and everything, right? But we actually do black intelligence, or even if we hit some ignorant shit, we talk about it in an intelligent way. So anyway, hit the thumbs up button, share and subscribe button. And it was that Faye Bishop in there. How you doing, Faye? Happy birthday, girl. I saw you you were celebrating your birthday. So happy birthday to you. All right. So Ed Buck, let's see, the Democratic mega donor was arrested Tuesday and charged with operating a drug house after a third man reportedly suffered an overdose inside his West Hollywood home last week and survived. Buck has faced public scrutiny after two black men died from overdoses 18 months apart inside his home. He was not charged in either of those cases. I guess dead black men in your house is not a big deal, so okay, whatever. Buck is due in court Wednesday to respond to 3 counts of battery and injecting the alleged third victim with methamphetamine on September 11th. The LA Times reported. So there's a third guy he injected with methamphetamine. Apparently the guy overdosed, and prosecutors wrote in court papers obtained by the Times that Buck used his position of power. Pay attention, y'all. He used his position of power to manipulate his victims into participating in his sexual fetishes. Quote, these fetishes included supplying and personally administering dangerously large doses of narcotics to his victims, the prosecutors wrote, according to the Times. So here's the deal, right? So he had a thing with black men, right? He's attracted to black men. Can't blame for that. Black men, we're amazing. We're just, I mean, everybody wants a black man, right? Everybody wants a black man, right? If you don't want one, you should get one. Once you go black, you won't go back. Won't happen. But here's the thing. Buck understood that black people come cheap. You know, he understood like Negroes ain't got no money. I'm one of your allies because I'm a liberal, and we liberals, we just love the Negroes, and we're really in the struggle with you. And so he knew he also probably had some money. Well, if he's a mega donor to the Democratic Party, I assume that means he had money. So effectively, what he was basically doing was he was doing an R. Kelly type thing with young black men. He was doing exactly what R. Kelly did with young girls, right? How did R. Kelly lure his victims in, right? You know, he pull up in his Benz, his Bentley, whatever he's driving. You know, he shows her things that she had never seen, puts money in her pocket, woos her in, you know, promises her these pie in the sky dreams that one day you'll be famous. And next thing you know, his penis is out, right? You know, like that's what it is, right? And Ed Buck was doing that to young black men, apparently, because he had this attraction. He knew that what money does. Jeffrey Epstein was on this too. What money does, and y'all know I have a PhD in finance, so I'm really obsessed with financial psychology, and I just find it quite fascinating how money changes people's behavior. Money affects your brain the same way cocaine affects your brain, in the same region of the brain. Also, money causes you to trust people that you should not trust. You know, Jeffrey Epstein was able to get away with a lot of his shit because people trusted him. He's like, oh, he's a billionaire. I want to be friends with a billionaire. And then next thing you know, Jeffrey does something nice. He buys you a nice dinner with some caviar. And then next thing you know, you're on video saying, oh, Jeffrey's a great guy. I really think he's awesome. And I just love this guy. Right. And you've been knowing Jeffrey for like a weekend, right? You don't know nothing about his life, nothing about his situation. You're happy. Jeffrey calls you up and says, hey, we got a business deal we'd like you to be in on. I'm going to put, $3 million behind it. And you're like, oh my God, this is my big break. I've been waiting for the big break. And you think you got a blessing, but you really might have got a curse, right? So ultimately you need to kind of process that a little bit in order to determine and decide how you're going to respond when you meet people that have money, power, and access and the things that you want. Women get lured in all the time by men who have big money, but you don't understand. He might be bringing big drama to your life. He might be bringing STDs. There's a lot of rich, famous men who sleep with hundreds of women a year, and you don't know what he's bringing into your life. But he knows he can get over on you because if he flash a little dough and speak, whisper a couple sweet nothings in your ear, you'll do whatever he wants, right? So you got to really understand how money is kind of an aphrodisiac that will lure people in. And I've seen this as well. I'm not broke. I'm not gonna sit and pretend like I ain't got no money in the bank. Also, I'm a little bit famous, and stuff like that. And when I was single, I would actually bump into women that trusted me too much too early. And I'd be like, why do you trust me so much? Like, why are you really want to go home with me like now? You shouldn't go home with me now. Like that's how nerdy I am, right? I would literally talk myself out of like all kinds of vagina by basically being like thinking about like really. So that's fascinating. So you really think you love me already? You don't even know me. Like you haven't even asked. You need to ask me about this and this and this and this and this. Right? That's just what I'm weird like that, right? But that's why I'm gonna marry another college professor, because we just sit around and do weird things like that with each other. We're both, we're both are thinkers, right? So anyway, shout out to all the intelligent Black women in the room. I have a lot of respect for you, even if the world acts like they do not, right? A big brain is always better than a big booty any day of the week. But anyway, so let's keep going. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button. Also make sure that you hit the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever we go live. Just reminders, All Black National Convention happens the weekend of September 27th. That's in 10 days from now. If you want to come to Houston, go to allblacknationalconvention.com. You will love it. There will be great people there. great networking there with other people who think like you. We're going to learn about everything from business to politics to relationships. We have panels on all different kinds of topics, and you can consider the ABC to kind of be the anti-conference. If you're sick of the NAACP conventions and the Urban League and see the Congressional Black Caucus and all that, no disrespect to them, but we just kind of felt like they weren't giving us what we needed. We need real solutions from real people that are going to have a real impact on the real community, not just rhetoric, not just everybody go vote for the Democrats. Like we don't do that. Doesn't mean you can't vote for the Democrats. It's just we don't give a shit what your political affiliation is. You could tell, a lady came in wearing a Trump shirt, and I was like, wow, that's interesting. What makes you wear that? But I didn't reject her and say, oh, you vote for Trump, there's something wrong with you. I was like, no, well, you love black people. I love black people too. Come on in. We all black up in here. I don't care who you voted for. We don't care what your sexual orientation is. We don't care if you're a feminist or a womanist or something else. We don't care, married, single, old, young, smart, dumb, whatever. Like, what matters is, are you black and are you ready to build? Are you ready for creative, innovative solutions to meaningful problems? Are you ready for things that are actually going to move the needle? We are moving the needle. We are educating thousands of children on wealth to the point where we got thousands of kids out here now who are going to build the next generation because they've been through our Black Millionaires of Tomorrow program, and they actually have a financial literacy level that exceeds the average college educated adult. I designed this for my years as a college professor for our children. We have families out here who are buying real estate now because we've got them thinking about the importance of ownership, right? We got people starting thousands of businesses now. There are people out here that are investing in the stock market now. I tell you guys all the time, if you come into this channel, I need you to change your life. I don't want you just watching because it's interesting. I need you here telling me, like, this is what I'm doing. I'm moving the needle for my family, for my grandchildren. That's real progress. This other stuff, that to me has not represented progress. So that's what we're all about. So if you're interested, go check it out. It's allblacknationalconvention.com. You can actually watch the video of the conference. We'll put the recordings up online right as the conference is finishing. You can go to allblackeducation.com. That's allblackeducation.com. And of course, you guys know about our social media platform. When Facebook started banning all kinds of black people, which they're still doing, we created blackenough.com. Here's how you spell it. I put it on a shirt, and it's our word. We trademarked this word. It's almost like black enough, except black enough. Get it? Haha. So if you're black enough, go ahead and join blackenough.com. That's where we're having really good conversations. Now I'm going to answer some of your questions. Let's see here. Alex Nevermind says, hello, Dr. Boyce. Glad you're talking about Ed Buck. Mainstream media isn't talking about this, but going deep on Antonio Brown. Yeah, they really are. They really are. I don't know. If you had a choice between who you wanted to become friends with, which person do you think would be a scarier person to be friends with, Ed Buck or Antonio Brown? Which one would be scarier for you, Ed Buck or Antonio Brown? I say I'd be more afraid of being friends with Ed Buck. Ed Buck would probably be the one who made me a little bit nervous, because Ed Buck apparently allegedly was injecting guys with crystal meth without their knowledge. I mean, my God, that's some scary shit. This man's pulling out needles and sticking them in your ass. And so because he just allegedly enjoyed watching these black men go crazy and whatever, and there was like talk about what this guy was doing, where these guys knew what was happening, right? And so that's the Me Too movement for the brothers that were, that are in the LGBT community that were going through this. And in case you want to know my position on that, I do think that we as a community have to also, respect and support what they're dealing with, what they're going through, right? Like, we can't support this idea. Like, we got families that'll reject and kick somebody out of the family because they're gay. That's wrong. You can't do that. Like, you got to love your family no matter what. At the same time, I think the compromise has to be that if you are living whatever lifestyle you want to live, like, it's okay if somebody just says, I don't agree with that, or that's not my thing, or my pastor tells me that, this about what the Bible says. I think that's okay too. You can't run around calling everybody homophobic because they don't want to hear about, they don't want to hear about it, or they don't want to support it, right? It doesn't mean they hate you. It just means that that's not who they are, and they have a right to be who they are. And I think black people have to have our own conversation about that, because the problem is that you've let white folks define you in that area. You can't do that. Stop letting your oppressor define you, because they're going to misdefine you. They're going to misdirect you. They're going to misinterpret who you are every single day of the week, and they're going to do it twice on Sundays. So anyway, let me see here. Somebody mentioned something about 82 Atlantic says, are you going to talk about the beef between Jay Morrison and Tariq Nasheed? I didn't know that there was a beef. I'm very sorry to hear that. I think that's not a win for the community. And because I'm friends with both of these guys, and I talk about both of them in a positive light. And I'm gonna tell you this too: if I'm ever pissed off at either one of them, you will never know it. You guys will never know it. And the reason I say that is because my objective is to, first of all, I told you I'm not fighting with no black people in 2019. I'm just not doing it. It's not, I'll fight with those who are deliberately trying to undermine what we're doing, right? Going out of the way to do it. But if it's like some petty stuff, like somebody on the internet's like, oh, I hate Boyce Watkins, or Boyce Watkins is this, Boyce Watkins is that. Sometimes I'll see this stuff every now and then, but it's like, what's the point? Like, what good? How? You got to think about what your goal is, right? My goal is to elevate and uplift and make people smarter. Like, how do I achieve that goal if I'm sitting on here acting like a damn rapper? Talking about a beef I got with somebody else on another YouTube channel. Like, that's some retarded shit to me. That's like counterproductive. It also conflicts with the concept of black unity, but at the same time, it's nuanced, right? Critiquing or analyzing something or breaking it down and being honest about it is not the same as disunity either. Unity does not mean uniformity. Right? Unity does not mean we all agree on everything, and that if I disagree with you, I must be a hater. Unity means that I can critique you in love. It doesn't mean I can say, look, that's my boy, but I disagree with him on XYZ. But I still love you and I respect your right to say whatever. Like, y'all see, for example, Killer Mike is a great example. I don't agree with everything Killer Mike says or does. I didn't agree with his alignment with Bernie Sanders. I was like, come on, man, like, let that shit go. But I like Killer Mike a lot. We text a lot, and I respect this guy. And in fact, at some point, I'll get him on the channel, and he's cool. Like, so certain people that are doing certain things, I'm just not going to. I don't see any benefit. If I was like mad at Tariq Nasheed and decided, oh, I'm gonna go tear down that Negro, I'm gonna go tear him down. That's ego. That's ego talking. You can't let your ego drive this. You must be a vessel, a vessel of God, or the universe, right? The universe is giving. Like, every day I wake up and I'm like, okay, I feel the need to talk about this. The universe or God is telling me to talk about it. So right now I'm a vessel, and when I'm an adequate and appropriate vessel, and I allow whatever the message is to flow through me, I believe that I'm as great as any human being in the history of this world. I really do. I believe I can do anything out there. But the thing is, I know that I'm only at my best when I'm an appropriate vessel. When I start to flood that signal and disrupt that signal by tainting it with my own ego, like, well, Boyce is this and Boyce thinks that, blah, 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 blah. Then I start becoming just another, piece of shit on the internet running his mouth. So let's see here. Jay said video talking about black haters because he's rich. Tariq and Jay Morrison on Instagram beef going. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Boyce, you have to see Jay video. He's going off code. Okay. Tariq is right, bro. That Tulsa fund is looking a little funny. He looking a little Umar. Oh, Jay's exposing himself and should simply fall back. Well, I'll say this. I'm invested in the Tulsa fund, and here's my position on that. On the Tulsa fund, I'm an investor. I'm glad to be an investor, and I will always be glad to be an investor, no matter what happens. Why do I say that? Well, because I've invested a lot of money, right? And I've invested in a lot of white companies and a lot of white mutual funds. And I don't sit around obsessing over, whether I think the fund manager is a crook, or whether I think they're going to lose my money, or how I can take them down if they make a mistake. I just don't do that, right? So I'm not going to scrutinize a black man more than I scrutinize anybody else. The thing about investing is that investing is never a surefire game. It's not, you invest, you're going to lose money. If you are an investor consistently, just write it down. You're going to lose money the same way a basketball player misses shots. Like, you ain't going to hit every damn shot. Stop acting like you're going to do that. Stop acting like a person has to hit every shot to be a good investor. The silliest thing I've heard people say on the internet is, Dr. Boyce said invest in such and such, and it didn't work out. It didn't make any money. So that means he don't know what he's talking about. No, I knew exactly what the fuck I was talking about. And one of the things that is true with investing is that investing is risky. Risky means that you can make money. You might lose money, right? But you keep hustling, you keep moving forward, because what happens at the end of the day is you win more than you lose. Right? That's how investing works. The stock market doesn't do this. The stock market does this. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. But there's an upward trend that says that if you don't invest, you're going to miss all of this because you worried about all of that. You worried about losing so much that you killing your ability to win. You don't win shit because you always worried about losing. And people who always worry about losing are gonna be losers, because ultimately, at the end of the day, you're gonna miss out on every chance you have to win. It's just like love. If you're so scared to date because you don't want to get hurt, and so you don't talk to anybody, you don't leave your house, you don't ask nobody out on a date, you don't want to go out on any dates, you turn down every opportunity, then guess what? Yeah, you ain't never gonna get hurt, but you will never know the deliciousness of falling in love. You will never know the excitement and the thrill of a first kiss. You will never get to experience how wonderful it feels to be deeply, deeply in love. And so that's what I would tell you. Like, when you talk about being in love with your future or experiencing the high of making some money, you'll never experience that high if you're always scared of losing. So the Tulsa Fund, right now, the Tulsa Fund is not liquid right yet, right? The Jay's deploying capital. I talked to Jay for 2 hours about, 3, 4, 5 months ago. And he's deploying capital. He's putting money into real estate. Real estate is not a liquid industry, right? It's something where you put money in and it takes a couple, 2, 3 years for everything to kind of kick in. Now, does this guarantee that Jay's going to make money? No, but not making money does not make him a crook, right? It just doesn't. It's not, and remember, he had to go through a tremendous amount of scrutiny from the Securities and Exchange Commission in order to get the approvals to go to the public and raise money. You can't just go out here and be like, oh, I got a fund, everybody put money in my fund. Like, you can't do that. You'll get locked up for that. So Jay did all the paperwork. I talked to Jay in Guyana 2 years ago when he called me and first told me about the fund. The first thing I thought was, man, I hope this ain't no, like, I'm gonna build a school type shit, where it's like everybody put money in my PayPal and then we'll see what happens, right? Like, I'm telling you, I was an open critic of that. I thought that was an issue because there's a lack of transparency and there wasn't much structure there, right? Jay had to go through the structure. Like, he couldn't just go raise $10 million and not get federal scrutiny. So the feds, imagine this, think about this, y'all. Yeah, give me a yes or no if you understand what I'm saying on this. You had to deal with the feds as an inmate already. He is a victim of the mass incarceration epidemic started by the Bill Clinton, crime bill and all that stuff, right? Jay has dealt with the feds and been on the wrong side of that, right? Jay makes no secret of the fact that he used to sling back in the day, right? So Jay has I guess he's still a felon or whatever you call it. Like, I guess I don't know if you're still a felon when they let you out. Either way, when you're a black man who's gone to prison, let's just say that, right? And so you're going to get triple scrutiny. The feds are going to watch the hell out of you. So he had to be on every single P and every single Q. He had to be on his P's and Q's like a motherfucker in order to get this thing through. So he wasn't doing it sloppily or haphazardly. He did it in a way where, based on what I'm hearing, what I was hearing when we went through the analysis, he showed me a lot of numbers and lots of charts and graphs and everything else. I didn't have a problem with what I saw, and I hate the fact that, the idea of him and Tariq going at it, because I've had Tariq Nasheed in here as well. I've had him on this channel. I've had him in the Black Business School. I've had Jay on this channel. I've had Jay come visit the Black Business School. And I think both of these men are titans in the Black community, economic titans. Give me a second here. Tariq, what he did with Hidden Colors is amazing. It's literally a blueprint for the future. It's what I call a blackbuster film franchise. Blackbuster instead of blockbuster. Blackbuster meaning like rooted in the Black community, has made millions of dollars, has done extremely well. Tariq also has, some, I guess, things in his past that, that the people have given him a hard time about. But when I dealt with him, we like each other. I don't have an issue with him at all. And I think that, we can support both of these guys. And what I would encourage you to do is, try not to get so caught up in the beef. Like, if those two guys, for whatever reason, have an issue with each other, that does not mean you have to pick sides. That does not mean you have to align yourself with one versus the other. Now, if in case you want to know, I'm not. I will say this: I don't treat everybody and everything the same. If I see something that doesn't fit right with me, then yeah, there have been times where I've had to say that. I think somebody said, Brian says, so you throw Umar under the bus, but not Jay. Here's the deal with Umar. I don't throw Umar under the bus. If you notice, I haven't mentioned Umar much at all. But Umar is extremely sensitive. He's very sensitive. And the sensitivity means if you just say his name, he will interpret that in a specific way, right? And so, you know, I only really dug into the Umar thing when Umar continuously kept pushing at me, kept poking at me about this and this and this, right? And I think sometimes that happens, right? People think because I'm a nice guy, like I must be a punk or that you can just say whatever you want. But no, I was raised by a real man. Both of my balls are firmly attached to my body. And you keep messing with me, then I'm going to have to like come back and be honest with you, right? And I told y'all my honest opinion of Umar, that he is one of the best speakers that I've ever heard, but there are some personality traits that are a little bit problematic. I think that when you call yourself, you know, I don't want to get into that. You know, I'm the Prince of Pan-Africanism. I'm, you know, I am this, I am that. I'm the only one who's doing this. I'm the only one who's doing that. I'm the only one. I'm the only. I'm the only. I'm the only. I'm the only. I don't. There is no only in this community. There is no only one doing nothing, right? You got lots of smart Black people out here doing great work. A lot of whom don't get the attention they deserve, and I think it's very uncomfortable that you do this now. So here's the deal, right? So the way the thing with Umar started was Maria Lloyd did a video on my channel, asking very politely. If you go watch her video, she's very polite. She said, you know, we all gave money to the school. We'd like to know where the money is. Can you just answer that question? And he got very offended by that question. He got very offended by what she said. And so he thought that I put her up to it. That's why I didn't let Maria use my channel anymore, because I didn't want people using my channel to pursue their personal issues or vendettas, right? It just didn't, you know, whatever. So basically he starts going on Facebook saying Boyce Watkins put her up to this. Boyce Watkins did this. Boyce Watkins is like the people who took down Marcus Garvey. Boyce, and again, you're not Marcus Garvey. Like none of us is Marcus Garvey, right? But you know, Boyce Watkins is this. Boyce, you know, and I'm like, I didn't do this. Like, you know, so I'm calling on the phone. I'm like, hey, give me a call, man. Like, let's talk about this. No answer. I'm like, well, why would you talk about me on social media, but won't talk to me on the phone? So again, so I'm just like, I did a video like, hey, just talk to me, call me. Like, I don't understand. All this is documented. You can go do the research. I mean, if you want to believe the bullshit, you can, right? If your brain is stuck on stupid, then you can stay stuck on stupid. But people who watch me every day, you know how I operate, you know how I think, you know how my brain kind of moves, right? And I'm not a person that's out here looking to fight or battle with any Black man, right? That's just not fun for me. So then after the video, there's no callback, but it's more like Facebook chatter, you know, like making, like ridiculing them. And I'm like, what is this? Like, are we 12? Like, are we 12-year-old girls? Like, what is like call me. Like, you're supposed to talk on the phone. We're supposed to go in the back room, have a conversation, hash it out, work it out, you know, like the brothers in the Nation of Islam. You know, that's why I respect the Nation, because they handle shit like men, you know. And I'm like, why are we out here like getting into this weird little teenager thing? And so I think on the third day, I will admit my emotions got to the best of me. By the third time, I was like, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and just tell the truth. I've been holding this back, but I'm gonna go ahead and just tell the truth on this. And I did that. And do I regret it? I don't know. I mean, maybe there's better things I could have done with my time. But at the same time, you know, that's where that came from. So I don't see Umar in the same light as Jay and Tariq. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just don't. But it does not mean I don't think Umar's not smart. I just think that that there's a style I do not relate to. I do not relate to a very rambunctious style where it's almost like you're a rapper, like where you're like I'm the greatest, I'm the smartest, I'm the most brilliant, whatever. I'm the Prince of Pan-Africanism. I'm the king. I'm the only one. I don't. That part just doesn't relate to me very much, right? And also, I do think that just from an educational standpoint, what you guys got to understand is that if you go out here and you raise money in public, you have to have transparency. You have to tell people what's happening with that money. You have to give accountability. And I think that's really the bottom line of it all. It doesn't matter what I think. Like, you can call me a motherfucker and a son of a bitch if you want. I don't give a shit. Fucking maybe I am. But at the end of the day, it's all about the rules of the game. The rule of the game is that if you collect money for a cause, like if I come to you guys and I say, hey, I want to go buy this $1 million building. Can you guys help me raise $1 million for this building? I need to give you reports, like, and show you. I got
some results from the web.
Why is this phone talking to me? I have to say to you, here's our plan. Here's the board I put together of brilliant people that are going to help me get this done. Here are the results. It has to be done in a timely manner. If it's 4 or 5 years later and still nothing, like I can't show you anything concrete, like nothing has opened, there's no structure, there's no nothing, then a lot of people are going to say, well, come on, boys, like tell us what's going on. Actually, this is a good investing lesson. Publicly traded companies that are on Wall Street that go and pick up, that they go and get money from the public are required to have full transparency of what they're doing with their money. They are required to give regular quarterly reports and monthly reports. They are required to consistently and openly tell you what they're doing with your money. They are not allowed to go and collect a bunch of money and say, mind your own goddamn business. Like, you ain't got no right to ask me nothing. Like, you can't do that. You cannot do that. So at the end of the day, what you got to understand is that there's an expectation there. And the reason that that's important is because when you're building a Black economy, you have to have trust. If you have no trust, you can build no wealth. If you have no trust, you can build no relationships. If you have no trust, you can build no empires. If you have no trust, you cannot build families. So there must be trust. Trust was lost in that whole situation where, I'm getting reports and I'm seeing where people are getting blocked from Facebook pages because they're asking, like, hey, where's my money at? Like I gave money, like what's the result here, right? Now, I will say this too. I think that sometimes we are a little too harsh on people that raise money for good causes and do good work, and so, when people ask me, like, well, what do you think about the money you gave to Umar's school? Because I made a donation. I donated to him. There's a lot of people that have criticized me. I've actually given them lots of money. But with Umar, I didn't give him a lot. I think I maybe gave 25, 50 bucks. It wasn't a big donation. But like Michi X, when she started her Black Agenda tour, I gave $500 to that. Yvette Carnell, I probably given her $60,000, $70,000 over the years. And so, so that's why I don't pay attention when people are like, well, why are these people mad at you? You must be a bad person. I'm like, well, if I was a bad person, I wouldn't have gave them all this money because they didn't give me anything. Like, they've never given me a penny for anything ever. Not that I recall at any point. Never give me a penny, right? So honestly, a lot of the criticism or critiques I might hear where people are like, well, why is this person mad at you? A lot of times it might literally be something as basic as, maybe they're mad because you didn't keep giving them money, or maybe they're mad because you didn't give them more money, or maybe they're mad because you empowered them and then suddenly you took that away. And that's true. I mean, you have to do that, right? If you run a business, you are at some point going to have to make hard decisions, and you're going to have people pissed off at you because you just said, look, I got to cut the cord. Like, this is becoming a cancer and we got to amputate, right? But at the end of the day, like, you can check I got the receipts on, a lot of stuff where I've helped a lot of people. I just don't publicly talk about that very much. So I will say, and I can say that even with Jay and Tariq, I don't just verbally support people I believe in. I will financially support them in many cases. I've made money with Tariq. We've done business together. I've sold hundreds of copies of Hidden Colors and did business deals with him. Jay Morrison, I invested $10,000 in the Tulsa Fund, and I don't regret anything. I don't regret any of that. Yvette put money in your pocket by constantly posting. No, actually, I don't need people to post to my YouTube channel for me to make money. Most people, if you pay attention on the internet, most people do not share their YouTube channel. Most people do not let others use their YouTube channel. And so when somebody allows you to get free advertising to build your own platform, that's actually a valuable thing. So if anybody ever comes along and says, I'll let you post to my YouTube channel if you want, you should do it, because that's how you can build a platform. Like, if you look and you go back to, say, Cornell or whomever, who's actually running the ADOS movement, you'll go back and you can still find videos on my Your Black World channel where she's saying, hey, come join my channel. Hey, come follow me. Come here, support this. Please donate to this, right? So, having access to a big platform is important. Like, when I started with AOL Black Voices, that's what they did for me. They gave me a platform, and I worked for them for free because they were giving me wealth by giving me the opportunity to get my name out there and to push things. So stop, try not to get caught up when you start your business. Try not to get caught up in am I going to get a paycheck this week? Are you going to pay me? You need to be paying me because I'm making videos for you. You need to be paying me because I'm writing articles for you. No, what you do is you build your brand. Like I worked probably 10,000 hours for free before I ever started really making any money. If you don't invest in yourself, then nobody else will ever invest in you, right? So the biggest advice I would give anybody in here who's serious about building wealth, of course, there's always, people that just bitch and complain or whatever, but those who really are constructive in their thinking and you want to really build something for yourself, you got to invest in yourself. If you don't invest in yourself, then why would you expect anybody else to invest in you? You don't even believe enough in yourself to even give yourself free labor or even give yourself a financial boost, right? Then or to pass up the Popeye's chicken or a new car so you can actually get a business off the ground. So if you're not willing to invest in yourself, then why in the fuck do you think anybody else would invest in you? Like, why would I invest in you when you won't even invest in you? You know more about you than I do. So you like, Boyce, I need you to give me $5,000. I need you to give me some free publicity. I need you to give me this and give me that. But I'm like, my first question would be, well, what have you invested in yourself? What have you done to elevate your situation? Now, if you show me 3, 4, 5 years where you put your heart and soul into it and tons of money and thousands of hours of labor into building yourself, then I'm like, okay, so I'm investing in a quality product because you've shown me that you believe in this thing, right? But if you ain't done nothing for yourself and you showing up with your hand out, but ain't willing to do nothing without a paycheck, then I honestly can't respect that. I'm just like, I don't get that. I don't understand that. Because I sacrificed everything to get my shit moving. I didn't just sit around and wait to be discovered. Nobody discovered me. Ain't nobody discovered me, right? So I would say at the end of the day, in terms of just all of this, I think first of all, I think that YouTube beefs are kind of petty. It's basically, unfortunately, it's like we get caught up in having like these little platforms where people listen to us, and we don't understand that with that platform comes a public and social responsibility to be loyal to the people that support you, not loyal to yourself, but loyal to the people that support you. I don't think most good people. You give me a yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Do you enjoy watching Black people you admire fighting on the internet? Give me a yes or no. Yes or no. Do you enjoy watching Black people you admire? Like you have two people. Let's say me and Yvette Carnell. I'll use myself as an example. Do you enjoy watching, me and her go at it? You admire her and you admire me, and you're watching her like, Boyce ain't shit. Boyce ain't never did nothing for me. Fuck Boyce. Boyce is a liar. Boyce is a con artist. Boyce ain't shit. Blah blah blah. Even though we worked together very closely for many years, so it seems like when you were taking my money and working right next to me, you would have picked up all these sinister motives I had when I was giving you free access to my YouTube channel, wasn't charging you a thing, even though it costs thousands of dollars to get access to my channel, to get advertising on my YouTube channel. You got to pay money for that. I get no benefit from sharing my platform. Believe me, I can do this all day by myself. I don't need people coming on, right? So the issue is like, there is no benefit. I see a lot of no's, right? You guys don't enjoy this, right? So I thought about that, and I was like I'm not gonna sit around here and be a 45-year-old kid. I mean, I think 45 because that was about when I was having this reflection. I'm not 45 anymore, but I'm not gonna be a fucking kid, man. Like I really want to do what's best for the people that have my back. I want to be an asset to you. And if I'm sitting around here and all I'm doing is bitching about somebody else and trying to use my power to destroy other people, because I got power. I mean, I can say things that will move the needle, right? I can influence, right? All these things. I got power, but you got with great power comes responsibility, And so to me, I had to, my thing is like when I get pissed off and I'm like, man, I can't believe they said that. That's not true. That ain't right. Why would somebody say that? Blah blah. I'll just say, be like, Boyce, get over yourself. Like this ain't about how you coming out smelling like a rose. Maybe they're right. Maybe you're an asshole sometimes. Maybe you've made a mistake. But so the first thing that happens when you put your ego in check is you must realize you are a flawed vessel. And that, and that if you are so concerned with looking beautiful every single day of the week, then you're going to miss the purpose. A flawed vessel can still give you a valuable lesson. A flawed Boyce Watkins can still help you improve your life, right? Boyce, in all his endless imperfections, can still be somebody who can tell you something that will make your life a little bit better And that's what it's supposed to be about. It ain't about me having some beef with some other 40-something-year-old person. It's tacky, it's corny. We're supposed to be the grown-ups in the room. And I think that that's what I remind myself of. If you want to know what I really think about, especially when I see the trolls, I see people in there, trying to instigate, trying to start fights. I guess they like doing that. But that's just not what I'm about. I'm not interested in that. And I think as a community, I think it's up to you guys when you see that shit to be like, cut it out. Like, we're not here to hear you bitch and complain about somebody else. We're here to learn. We're here to get from you something other than you bitching about why you think you're the greatest in the world and why this other person ain't shit and all these other things. Like, I just don't think that that's benefiting anybody. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to stop talking. Please hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button. It was awesome talking to you guys. Good to see you on Instagram. Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. I'll keep posting stuff all day. I got some more interesting stuff to post today, so you guys will find that interesting. Thank you, everybody on YouTube. Please, if you're on YouTube, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe button, and the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever we go live. This is the home for intelligent Black people. If you believe in helping us to spread intelligent Black media throughout the world, please feel free to go become a patron. We'd love to have you join our tribe for intelligent Black people, which is at intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. Also, don't forget, we have our own social media platform. We're building. We're not just talking. We're actually building things. So you could go to blackenough.com. That's kind of like Facebook, except for Black people. We won't ban you for being too Black. So go join Black Enough. They're having great conversations there now. Also, All Black National Convention happens. It's the weekend of September 27th. You can go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. And also, if you want to watch the All Black National Convention on video, we're going to try to have a live stream. If not, we'll just load the video right after that day's over. Go to allblackeducation.com. That's allblackeducation.com. It's a digital platform with tons of educational content and digital content that you can check out as well. So, all right, so take care, guys. Have a great day. And I love you all. And I didn't even know why the conversation was going to go left like that. But I think it's good. I think it's a good discussion. I think that as a community, we can help each other mature, and myself included. I am paying attention, and I am looking to you guys to tell me how I can be a better man, because I am not a perfect man. And and I never will be, but I am going to always do my best. So that's never going to change. So take care, guys. Love you. Have a good day. See you soon. Peace.